Good morning and welcome to Vibrant Morning here in BTV Kenya. Now, Vibrant Morning, always, every day, every morning, brings you newspaper review, and mostly we focus on People Daily newspaper. And today, my co-host Lennox Odede, as I stated yesterday, he was not with us. He was outside there to gather for us what was happening in Migori County. And before we get into that, Lennox, welcome.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Lennox. I'm your host, Gagi Isaiah. And remember, you can follow us on YouTube, BTV Kenya. Please subscribe. Remember to leave a comment. Let us know where we are reaching you from. You can also follow us also on Facebook page, Blackman TV. You can also leave a comment. Let us know where we are reaching you from. We have broadened our scope, and you can also reach us on TikTok and also on Instagram. Remember, we value you because you matter most to us. Now, I'm welcoming Lennox Odede to give us brief of what happened in Migori County before we look into what is in the People Daily newspaper briefly. Lennox, what happened in Migori County?
A lot.
Okay, the floor is yours.
A lot. You know, I really don't know why Raila Amolo Odinga has to be the unifying factor of ODM members or ODM party members, and then hapa chini lazima kuwe na tofauti. I think the genesis of violence, and I think I'm not sorry to say this, the genesis of violence begins, the genesis of violence is the party itself. Is the party. That's the genesis of violence. So
why do you say so?
Yes, why do I say so?
Yeah.
So yesterday, I will tell you a lot of things which happened in Rongo, Uriri, they were Sona Central, Wasweta 2. So I was in Wasweta 2, Nyamome Primary School. So in Nyamome Primary School, we had, what was happening yesterday, there was ODM grassroots elections at ward level, and people were electing ward representatives. And so in Nyamome, we had two teams. We had Team A, which was affiliated to someone, a politician. I won't mention the name. Team B was also there, also affiliated to a politician. I won't mention the name. So what happened is that Team A came in large numbers. They came in large numbers. And they were there. And they were claiming that before that they had confusion, mara election inaenda kufanyika Bondo Nyironge, mara hakuna election, mara hakuna uchaguzi. Kisha baadaye wakapata message ama arafa kwamba wafike kwenye maeneo ya kupiga ya uchaguzi. So they went to Nyamome Primary School. And they really came in large numbers. I'm talking about Team A. Again, we had Team B. They came in smaller numbers. So when they came in smaller numbers, there was a bit of tension. Because Team A thought that Team B kuna venye imecheza kichini chini. And Team B also, when they saw the number of these people, they pulled cold. Walivuta baridi kidogo, waliogopa kidogo. So what happened? The returning officer came. So when the returning officer came, the security personnel were also there and they were around. They came, the returning officer and his clerk came. They conducted the elections. Now, first of all, they read out the names of those people who were supposed to piga kura, yes, the delegates. And then it happened that Team A came in large numbers, and some of them were not, their names were not in the list. But pressure ilipanda. Returning officer akasema kwamba sasa tutafanya uchaguzi kwa njia ya mlolongo, and even bora uko hapa and you're an ODM member. You are a party member, not an ODM member. Yesterday you did correct me that you don't use how do we call it?
Articles.
Article.
An. With abbreviation.
With abbreviation. And A. Thank you for that. You see, I'm a good student.
I see.
Yeah, I'm a good student. Yes. So those who belonged to ODM as a party were to vote, regardless whether you were a delegate or not. So, wakaanza na chairman. So chairman wakachagua someone Okanda, I think some. So the majority party took it. So when the minority saw that hapa tutaoshwa kidogo, then they said no, we can't continue with this election. You see, are you getting me? I want you to get me very well and very clearly. So they disrupted the election. Team B disrupted the election.
And they are the minority.
And they are the minority. They decided, no, we can't go on with this election. So surprisingly, Team B, I don't know where that election was done. I don't know how it happened. But Team B already had a list of people.
Team A or B?
I'm talking about Team B, the minority. I want you to get me well. Team B had their people. They had the list already. The ward secretary was already elected. Youth leaders was already elected, and all that. And then you wonder, what really happened? Was it really an election? And then this comes despite the ODM Secretary General in the county of Migori, Joseph Olala, saying that the election in Osuratu was not supposed to take place because election in Magoto was compromised the other time when we were having a polling station elections. Are you getting me?
I'm getting you clearly.
So such like things. That is that. There was chaos here and there, but we thank God that there was no bloodshed, no one lost his or her life, no one got injured. But waliguzana kidogo. That is a fact. Waliguzana kidogo. Elsewhere in Suna Central, there were two election points. One was at Posta, headed by Team A. Another one was in Ngege Primary School, headed by Team B. So the one which took place in Ngege Primary School was headed by the, no, I think I won't mention the names again. I think I won't mention the names again because the person who led the election at Migori Stadium, that is the Team B, is a close ally to the topmost politician in the county. And apparently he's also a close ally to the MP of Suna West. No, not Suna West, but Suna East.
Suna East.
Yeah, Suna East. And then in Ngege Central, whereby we had the Team A, there was the MCA, and there was the top one of the officials in the CDF office of Suna West. So in Suna East, in Suna East, we also had 2 different elections that took place. Are you getting me? Suna Central Ward. I'm talking about Suna Central Ward. In Wasimbete Ward, the election did not take place at all. But there is a group of people who are claiming that an election was done at night, the previous night, a night to that day, a night to yesterday. And when they went to that place where there was an election, when they went there, they were told, you can't enter here. We are done with elections. Are you getting me?
I'm getting you very, very clearly.
In a particular ward in Kanyamkago, chaos erupted. In Rongo, it was the same. That's why I was saying that ODM as a party is the source of violence. What we saw yesterday was very nasty. It is something that we don't wish to see. As the people of Kenya, as people who vote, as people who belongs to maybe different parties, because I don't know which party you belong to and you don't know which party I belong to. Those are some things that we don't want to see, because imagine someone is chopping off your wrist or rather your arm just because of a political party. A ward level election ambaye hata ukiangalia vizuri, I don't know whether these people, there's something they get from...
You see, Lennox, what's happening is people are not so much sensitized. People are not so much educated when it comes to elections. The reason why I want to bring this on board is because I am trained as a voter educator. I'm trained as a voter educator, actually with the U.S. Embassy. So I understand much to do with the election and civic responsibility. People need to be taught. People need to be educated. People need to be made aware that election, one, is a process. No, even before coming to a process, election as a voter, it is your civic right to vote, to elect any person that you are going to choose to elect. But there are ways that this should be done. We should not look at it that it is something that is do or die. We should be able to see, actually, as a voter, ordinary voter, that's any person who is registered as a voter, has a responsibility and a civic right to vote. But as you vote, who are you voting? What are the perimeters? We are not allowed to go to a chaotic scene in the name of voting, because you are going to endanger your life. And people are all supposed to be told that when you vote, leave the polling station. Wait for the result later. And again, those who are conducting the elections, first they need to be fair. They need to also
be
transparent and accountable. Because here, in any elections, emotions are involved. That's one thing that we can never run away from. In any elections, emotions are involved. Because when I'm coming to vote, I have that person I have in mind, and that person I believe deserves my vote and I believe can work for the people. So what is very, very important is I need to be given a room to exercise my democratic and civic right for voting. as a voter. And my emotions too needs to be respected. Then there comes what known as the outcome of the elections. Now here is where we normally have tension. And I remember I was taught that when you are waiting for an outcome of election, you should anticipate and wait for a positive result or negative result. That's a result that is going to favor you or a result that is going to go against your expectation. Like for example, if we say, I'm going to vote this and this person, I should be able to know that there are two chances. Either my vote will propel that person to be the elected person, or my vote may not actually make that person win, because maybe there's people who are going to vote the other person, the opponent, more than the people are going to vote my choice. Therefore, we are presented by two options. So what happens is that for us to curb the election violences in whichever place, because this is not only witnessed in when it comes to politics, that is the politics, but look at it. Even I learned there was a time that the boda in Migori were conducting elections. It was somewhere in Uruba Solvage Academy. At first it was not easy, because everybody's pulling his side. Everybody believes my man is the person who needs to take the seat, not giving a room that there is a possibility that the person that you love, the person that you envy so much, may not actually sit in that position. So electorates, the voters, need to be told that, you see, let us be able to embrace the outcome. But what will make that outcome be embraced is the person conducting the election itself. Because that person needs to be transparent, accountable, and that person also needs to be reliable. People need to rely on him. So that is the only way we are going to curb these election violences, when we appreciate, accept, and also have transparent elections and respect emotions. You see, emotions is something that, if not dealt with, can burn the whole universe. Look at it, even in football. We have football fans. People are going there to watch a game. You're just a fan. But because your team has lost and you love this team so much, and somebody comes and starts saying things that are trying to provoke you, you find people end up fighting. Others end up going committing suicide because their team has lost, because emotion is involved. Any person supporting something, there's part of emotions that is involved. So that is what people need to know. That's what the community, the society needs to know. And when we look at that, I can assure you,
yeah,
there will not be shedding of blood, there will not be fighting, and this cannot be done when I'm sitting to myself.
So what do you think we should expect tomorrow? Because tomorrow we are having a constituency level elections.
You see,
sub-county.
We can judge how tomorrow is going to be by the previous elections. Because you've talked about Wasweta, you've talked about Wasimbeti, you've talked of Suna East, but also in Suna West, it is believed that, in Raganu Ruba, it is believed that elections were sham. There are people who already been elected in that area. And actually...
that case was across Suna West constituency.
Yes. It was like the people went there, nobody knew where the election was done, only to be told election was done in Ecclesia. And people have been elected. Now, if the question is posed, were you elected? Yes. Who are you contending with?
I don't know.
I don't know. How can you be elected? You said you are a duly elected without a contestant, without a competitor. The competitor needs to be involved, unless the competitor says, I'm not contending anymore, I don't want. Or in that locality it has been proved that there is nobody contesting for this seat. it is only one person that is contending. So the outcome of tomorrow actually in large extent is pegged on what happened yesterday, because there are people who are going there. Number one, we were rigged out. Number two, we were not given opportunity to vote. Now why do they want us to vote here? There are people going there that they are going to disrupt whatever the election is going to happen. That's number one. Unless things change, unless the cry of the people are heard, because people are saying the elections are not done. I watched the clip and they were saying that we were not allowed to vote. We love the party, but we are not allowed to vote. We only voted one person. The rest of the other areas were not voted. So this need to be looked carefully. I believe that is the bottom line. That is what cuts across. But I will still condemn what happened in Diwa.
Yeah, that was
it
so
was
nasty.
unnecessary. It was uncalled for. We don't need to
So
go
nasty.
to that extent. Even if emotions are involved, we need also to respect the people.
Surprisingly, the people you fight for, you can't even see them on ground.
And,
Because
and the person you are fighting is
Yeah.
your brother,
Is your brother.
your sister,
Because-
your village mate.
For example, what happened yesterday, I saw some people I know, because you know me, I come from Sagero.
Yes.
And you know Sagero is in Wasweta 2 ward. So I saw some people I know, some people who knows each other. You know, this is so and so, he comes from this area. I am so and so, I come from this area. Fighting. And one was even one even went and sat down and started saying, sasa huyu fulani fulani anadhani anaweza nipiga, huyu mtu ambaye anatoka hapa chini sijui nini. Imagine that is someone you can get access to. So how often can you get access to a politician compared to her to the number of times you can get access to that person you know very well? And how fast can this person you know very well reach out when you have a problem, as compared to how fast a politician can reach out when you have a problem? So we just have to think.
Yeah. So I think elections, with time, people will grow. That is, grow in terms of how we look at the elections.
No,
That's
no,
what
no,
I
no.
mean. Because if you look at the previous elections, things have been bad.
You know, let me tell you one thing. Yesterday was the worst day. I can say yesterday, whatever I saw was, you know, as a journalist, sometimes we see nasty things.
Yes.
And yesterday, you know, while we were at Nyamume, so you know, we did an interview after the chaotic incident. And so tulianza na, and I told you we had team A and team B. So we began with team A. So once we were done with team A, we had to give team B opportunity to tell us their side of the story, because that is normal and that is something is expected of us.
Yes.
Anytime we are doing our stories and all that. So when we went to take the side B side with them, they were claiming that, oh, uchaguzi imekuwa, we've seen the election, it was free and fair, it was this and this and all that. So team A decided, you know, when we were interviewing team A walikuwa, team B walikuwa mbali. So while we went to interview the team B, team A wakasonga karibu. And so another chaos erupted. You journalists, why are you listening to lies and all that? You people are biased and all that. Yeah,
forgetting that you were given a opportunity to express themselves.
They didn't forget that we gave them time to express themselves, and they never saw anyone from team B. And so we tried to explain to them, you know, what we're trying to do is to give you, each and every one of you, a fair opportunity to express yourself.
Fair hearing.
Yeah, because you have the right to express yourself. But no, you can't listen to lies. You can't capture lies. Kidogo kidogo nikaona kamera imeshikwa. And I told them no. You can't do this. So sometimes we see a lot.
Yeah, yeah, we've seen a lot. Actually,
We see a lot.
I have a mark on my head because of this work that we do.
Sorry for that.
I've had experienced. I went to Gor Mahia match in Nairobi. I went there as a reporter. But
Gor Mahia lost.
it was just fracas. Gor Mahia had scored 1 goal and I don't know what
AFC.
happened, and there was throwing of stones from this end to this end. Unfortunately, the stone landed on my head. So we see a lot.
But yeah, we see a lot, by the way. Our viewer, we see a lot.
We see a lot.
Yeah.
But that does not deter us from whatever.
We have to
we
give
do.
you full information.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
in
don't
as
want
much
to-
as sometimes we tunabana zingine kama sahii tumekuambia tu we had team A and team B.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't tell you team A was affiliated to who and team B was affiliated to who.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Is that only what happened in the county yesterday?
yeah, I think that's all what happened. But there's another sad incident. There's a body of a young child, I think 7 years of age, which was ilipatikana River Migori, hiyo area ya Wuthugik. And so the police officers, and this happened the other day, the other day in the evening. Police officers and all the security apparatus are ongoing with the investigations.
Okay.
Yeah, and another sad incident also took place in Karachuonyo. That was the saddest incident. You know, most of the time, I believe you discussed this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most of the time, I was reading an article, and I realized that it is very easy for women to walk away from toxic relationship.
Uh-huh.
It is very easy for them, and it is very easy for them to move on. But it is very hard for men to walk away, or rather out of toxic relationships. And most of the time, the society, as I told you sometimes back, that the society made, an African society made men to feel that they are superior, they should be they should be hardcore, and
Men
all
don't
that.
cry.
Men don't cry, and all that. So for men, if in any case you walk out of a toxic relationship, then you will be perceived as weak. But I don't think that is the case. Ikishindikana imeshindikana. Ikishindikana imeshindikana.
Now,
Just walk away.
you get on that note. I think what we Africans, me included, is we are not good readers. There's a lot of things that are hidden.
Yeah,
in
we
the
don't. We don't love reading.
Yeah, we don't. We are not good readers. The reason you say men don't cry is because the way we are structured,
Yeah.
the masculinity aspect of men is, they believe it must. This the only way. I read a lot. There's a book I read. I'm going to look for that book and give you.
Apart from reading,
Men
you're a
also
writer.
crying. I'm also a writer.
Yeah.
They say men also cry. Men also shed tears. When you come to a point, I've shared this a lot with many people. You must not die in a toxic relationship. There is a better life ahead. If it does not work, appreciate it is not working. Move on. And all these things that comes in, there is always a genesis. I was sharing yesterday with a Coco. We were here with him, and I was telling him that you see, a Coco, what's happening is this. Most people get into a relationship without knowing what a relationship is, without knowing what marriage entails. And they get so much into a relationship with a lot of expectations. So you realize that your expectations are not met. And your demands are not met. So people need to know when something is not possible, let us stop.
Yes, our viewer, there's a press briefing, I think, concerning the elections in the stadium at 10 a.m. So we will tell you more about it.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much on that for giving us that information. It just landed on our desk. There will be a press briefing concerning the elections, the ODM elections, which happened yesterday in Migori Stadium. So we'll bring you more and much more of what happened. I think they are going to address how the elections were conducted and all that, and give a way forward before tomorrow. Just like I said, these are things that need to be done. We can do them. We are sorry about that. We are also sorry about for the information that you just gave us, which we had shared yesterday with the incident that happened in Karachuonyo, a man killing his children, taking care of his life, and you see, we must not reach at that point. I think these people who go to school to study, is it psychology and all that, I think the government should employ more of them so that at least they can offer their services free of charge. Now, let me give you a story on that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but let me just put it this way. People say, I don't care much. Like, nothing really matters to me. Those things that press people to the wall, like, they don't matter to me. And I thank God, because at one point I did a course in counseling psychology.
Yeah.
And what has helped me a lot is how to tackle issues. Something has happened. It has happened. There are some happenings that you cannot undo. It is not like typing in a Microsoft Word document, whereby if you type a wrong spelling, you can click the undo button or use the shortcut key, Control Z, to undo. There are some things, once they have happened, they have happened. The best thing you can do, okay, this has happened, how can I get out of this?
But do you think the government should employ these people to offer their services free of charge, be it in hospital, be it in media houses, be it in fact, it is something that should even be offered in school. It needs to be a class of its own.
Sometimes back there was a proposal that each school should have a counseling psychologist.
Yeah, I think
somebody who did that.
Is good.
And actually, any institution, it is advisable that they have somebody who has done counseling psychology. Any institution, any gathering, because where people are, please expect indifferences. Where people are, expect pressure. And when something like that happens to you, please reach out to counselors. The problem is that most of us don't appreciate counselors. Most of us don't appreciate, sometimes I go through issues. I shared this yesterday. Do you have a trusted friend? Do you have such a friend that if you have issues, something that is really pressing on you, you can run to, you can share, and you are confident that the information that you have shared is going to remain with that person, and you know, sir, that this person is going to help you to solve the problem? That's what most people don't have. That's the reason why there's a lot of suicide. Because I've shared with you a story. It involves me. It involves my marriage. Tomorrow I'm hearing it from another person.
So
I've shared with you a story. I expect you
to give me a solution.
To give you not actually, as counselors, we don't give solutions. We
do
help people to come to terms with what is happening, and for them to know that there is something that
not a solution, Amara?
That's not a solution. We just help you to appreciate whatever has happened.
Okay.
As a counselors, we don't give solutions. Because you cannot give a solution. For example, you love your wife so much. Let me use that example. You love your wife so much, and you know you love her. And there is something that has happened. And she has said, from today, Lennox, it is over. It is done. Lennox, please forget about me. And she has gone to a court to process the divorce document, and she has handed it over to you and said it is done deal. Deep inside your heart, you still love her. You still believe you can work things out. But the other party does not believe you can work things out. And you've come to me as a counselor. I will have to listen to your story. I will have to listen to the other person's story. It's called pouring out self. And once I've learned that this person has made up his or her mind completely to walk out, then I'll tell you, listen, this person has made mind completely to walk out. The best you can do, appreciate the time that you people share together. Appreciate that there is life after this. Appreciate that, know that she's no longer part of your life, or he's no longer part of your life, and live with that, but move on in life. I've not created a solution. I've only helped you to understand the situation and only give a guidance. So that is what's happening, but it is very unfortunate, the incident from Karachuani. We don't anticipate to see that. Previously, we did see a young girl who just came from school. Now it is rumored that the parent asked of her performance and she ended up taking her life. We don't need to go through that far. One thing that is shocking me, the older generation were tough, would handle things. This generation, I don't know, we call them Alpha or Gen Z, they don't know how to
the Weetabix generation. The Weetabix generation.
The Weetabix generation. So that is all. Thank you so much, my dear viewers. That is all we had from Migori County. Now we dive into People Daily newspaper briefly.
Yeah,
looking onto the cover page of People Daily newspaper. The shame of beggar doctors.
What does that mean?
The shame of beggar doctors. Now, if you read the story on page 4, now if you jump to page 4, you'll get the whole story. It now say, slave laborer, trainee doctors work long hours without pay. Doctors, the other time we did see the doctors on the street. We did see they were demonstrating, they were calling for the payment of the trained staff, and those who are in the internship and those who are doing the attachments. But now here is a story of a gentleman who actually, in his life, he had been dreaming of becoming a doctor, and he pursued that career. But he's been volunteering, working as an intern at Kenya National Hospital, the Kenyatta National Hospital, and he wakes up very early, but the payment does not reflect. So I think that's where they drive the story, the shame of a beggar doctor.
That's very
like they're
bad.
working so hard, and it is like nothing is yielding fruit. It is sad. It is sad that, like Akoko was saying yesterday, I want you to be in the situation. You've gone to the university, you have trained, then you end up retiring without getting employment. What can you say about that?
It is very sad.
Like, today things are tough, but there should be a hope somewhere.
Yeah.
There should be a hope somewhere, however hard it is. I always tell people, once you've decided, once you've given yourself up, once you pursue what you love best, don't let obstacles weigh you down. You're a journalist. How many times have you stood on the rails? You're gathering news.
Rains,
How many times have you gone to cover news and you go back to your house empty-handed, empty stomach?
Not even talking about going back to your house empty-handed.
Mm-hmm.
You get out of your house, you're going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And you know very well that it's approaching 10th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. Unaangalia kwa account, unaangalia simu, message yote tu ikiingia hii pesa yaingia lini? You ask some of your colleagues, hapo kuna kuko aje nini, especially with us field journalists.
Mm-hmm.
We unaweza shtuka watu wa live, watu wa huko wamaliziwa, wewe bado. So mimi bado. Unaanza kuuliza mdozi ni aje, after 2 days unaona ndio kitu inaingia. So you can imagine, unatoka kwako You want to go and get this news, but you don't even have a single cent for transportation. But you have to go.
You have to go.
You have to go. Get that news, come back.
Write it.
It is struggle here and there.
So when we get into such like, let us, once you've chosen a profession,
Yeah.
do it
Yeah, passionately.
passionately.
Yeah, do it passionately.
I never stopped because I have a mark on my head. It reminds me of a passion I have for this. I keep on going
And
again and again and
that's a
again.
very beautiful story you will live to tell your grandchildren.
Yes,
Yeah.
it happened. Like I've witnessed a lot. The other day I went for reporting. You remember the Sinai incident? I don't know how old you are. The fire at Sinai, Nairobi. The leaking petroleum line that
Yeah.
burst into fire. I saw things which you couldn't believe, and that made me more tougher. I was not even paid
Seeing
for that
dead
story.
bodies,
Huh?
burnt bodies.
Burnt bodies.
Uh,
You see,
that's the
that did not
worst.
stop me.
And you know,
That's-
surprisingly, you're not supposed to show the public.
Yes,
That's what you captured.
that's what you've captured. You just give the story. Now, another story here,
Yeah.
which we are going to look at it, then we wind up. Ministry now said we have paid 8.4 billion NHIF debt.
Yeah, Dwale.
Dual is saying that now the outgoing medical service.
I saw he gave out some
Okay.
conditions to maybe those people who have not received their payments to take data to their offices. To their
I
own
think that
offices.
was right.
Yeah.
You know,
Tell us the number of patients you treated,
Yes.
how you treated, the number of times they slept there, and all that. Because you know, is it that because some hospitals they were cooking data to
Yeah.
NHIF and
You
all
see,
that?
like I think the reason why most people, this is my opinion, this is what I think. The
Yeah,
reason why,
that's what you think, and you're right
yes,
to think.
the reason why most hospitals, especially
Private.
the private hospitals, are not in support of SHA
Yeah.
is because a lot of loopholes have been locked. There are so many incidents people tell you that have been treated with another person's NHIF card.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are so many people saying,
You get
I went to
admitted.
the hospital, I was treated, I spent this time, but the bill that came out, I don't want to mention this, there was an incident of a private hospital, I don't know whether it was shut down here in Migori, because the incident came out, there was
Yeah.
a high school student who was treated there. But the bill that was to be paid was contrary.
To the number of days or
The number of days and
spent there.
the diagnosis which was conducted
The diagnosis was wrong.
was wrong. You see, so this is what SHA is looking on to.
And you know, I had a friend, a colleague who works in Milambo Radio. Recently, he was sick. And then he asked me, Lennox, you know, you took me to a hospital and I registered for SHA. Will I really be treated with SHA? Then I told him, just go and try your luck. He went to one of the hospitals in Namba. Let me just mention the hospital because this is not tarnishing the name.
Yeah.
He went to Ojele Memorial Hospital. He was treated. And then he called me and told me, you know, SHA worked. And they told me to go back tomorrow. And this propaganda, oh, SHA is not working, oh, whatever. Oh,
You also told me SHA had worked for
yeah,
you.
yeah, SHA worked for me.
You see, so they are just, I don't know whether to call them enemies or progress, but it is very important to embrace something, especially that which is going to benefit. You
Yeah.
see, even the contribution, SHA contribution is not that
Yeah,
much.
it's not that much.
It's not that much. We can afford it.
300, 400,
400. Let us
some
embrace
200,
it. Let us embrace it.
some even 50 bob per month. Yeah, some 50 bob per month.
So it is very important that I like what Dual is doing.
Yeah,
We are not paying what you cannot account for.
yeah.
Let
You
us
have
only
to account
pay
for this.
what you're working for. Now
Yeah.
another story on page 6. Ghost nets scandal hunt Nakumicha. at vetting panel.
This is Aaron Kisanga.
You see, things are happening in the Republic.
But why is it that most of the time these scandals, they come out when you're being vetted? But once, because each and every person who Nakumicha was nominated for, I think, ambassadorial position. Why is it that all these people, when they go for vetting, you will find that, oh, we ulikuwa na scandal KEMSA, oh, we ulikuwa na scandal ya hii, ama we ulifanya hii na hii. Why is it that at that particular period of time, the law did not take its course?
I think what's happening is there's a lot that is happening, and the happenings are not brought on the limelight. You see, and again, the reason why we find this, I'll say that we are selfish. We are selfish. It is only me and me. If it is not me, it is nobody. We are very selfish. And we only think of me. I think of me. I think of myself. I don't think of my neighbor.
Of us.
Yes.
Don't think
so if I get opportunity to loot, to grab, it will be for my own benefit. As long as I can find my way out after looting, after grabbing. And this need to stop. This need to stop. We need to embrace one another. We need to serve publicly. Look at all those who are vetted even for the IVC position. You will find that there is something that is trying to, like a web on that person, that you find that they find it very difficult to clear out. So such like things happen. So that is also a story there. You can grab a copy and read more comprehensively. Now, officer's death by suicide exposes police challenges. Now that is the story that we just gave you today, and yesterday it has been there. So please grab a copy and read more comprehensively. Because of the interest of time, we have to move very fast to Migori Stadium. But I don't know whether you have something. I want to give you time to say something, say a word or two.
I don't have a word. I'm really waiting for thought of the day and quote of the day. Then we wind up.
Okay. I know you've taken long without reading the quote of the day.
Yeah, not even the quote, the thought of the day.
Have you grabbed it?
It is something that is giving me more wisdom each and every day.
Oh, so from John Kell. Time plays a role in almost every decision, and some decisions define your attitude about time. I think that's what you can explain.
Time plays a role in almost every decision, and some decisions define your attitude about time. This one, I think I'm only able to explain the first part of this sentence. The time plays a role in almost every decision. Pia nimeshindwa sana.
Now, for you to understand or to explain thoughts, that is, or why saying, always take a case scenario. You'll be able to understand.
A case scenario. A case scenario nilishindwa hata kutumia kwa campus. There's this unit called philosophy. Philosophy is
I know that's where people find it very difficult.
Yeah, because it is a science of thinking, of critical thinking.
Yes. That was my favorite.
That's why you always understand this.
Not really from childhood.
Because at one point in time I was told, using a case scenario,
yes,
explain how fallacy is evident in the society.
Now, the reason why I didn't understand this most is when I loved so much media law and ethics.
Okay.
And in media law, I remember when one of my lecturers was introducing us and training us on defamation, and used a case scenario. So from that, it was like, and you could explain, one thing I love about media is not it's not about cramming.
Yeah.
It's about understanding and application part of it. So time plays a role in almost everything. Now, let me give this case scenario. We are to do what? To go for the press briefing in stadium. So we have a decision to make whether to go for it or not to go. Even as we have a decision to make, remember there is time. There is time that event is going to take place. There is time we have to go for that place. So we have to make a decision whether to go there. So time is going to play a role in a decision that we are going to make. If we make a decision that we are going there now, then we have to stop the program and go. So the time has played a role in making a decision to go there. Then again it say, and some decision define your attitude about time. Now, if I make a decision to go to that place earlier, it means number one,
you know how to keep time.
I know how to keep time. So my attitude about time keeping has been exposed, has been defined. And it means I'm going to get the content. And it says, there's a say that early birds
catches the worm.
The
fattest worm.
Catches worms. The late ones go for fruits. So you go there in time, you'll find something that somebody who will come there 5 minutes late will not be able to get in terms of content. So time, or you say, the time plays a role in every decision that we make. So when you're making a decision, you have to know your timing must be inaccurate. And some decisions define your attitude about time. If you make decisions late, it means you don't prioritize time. And remember, time waits for nobody.
Okay,
what's of the day now? What's of the day?
We have CS Health, Aden Duale. And I mean the NHIF pending claims verification panel will serve 3 months, not 6 months, not 3 months and 1 day. I say 3 months, Chairman. It must be 3 months, so you have a lot of work to do. 3 months.
Yes.
They have to verify, do
Yes.
verification. It means that if you know you did some shoddy work or shoddy deals, you're dead. We're moving to Diaspora Affairs PS, Rosalind Jogo. Any recruitment agency or agent reporting to have job opportunities in
Purporting.
Purporting, yes, to have job opportunities in the Southeast Asia region should be treated as a human trafficker and immediately reported to officials and the nearest police station. Good. Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen. We have good news. Our chiefs who were abducted in Mandera have been released and are now in the hands of Kenyan officials. They will be arriving home anytime soon. I think they should have arrived. Anyway, we move to tune of the day. Tune of the day. You can see there's a church there, and then there's someone lighting a matchstick, lighting a fire in the church from the front door, and from the back we have a smoke, a very big smoke, black smoke. And you know, when you see a black smoke, it means that something deadly is happening. And again, we can see congregants running out of church. So I don't know why these people are running out of the church, and they don't understand. But I think this one is related to the incident which happened in AIC Nairobi.
Who was lighting the fire? Who's lighting the fire in the church?
Oh, I didn't see this. You know,
the hand of a politician.
There's the arm of a politician doing nasty thing in the church. So does it? Yeah, I think this one is sending a message to politicians. They should stop going to church. Yeah.
No, they should not be stopped going to church. You can't stop somebody from going to church. They should be stopped doing politics
in church. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But again, it is very tricky. You see, the Bible says when the wicked rule, we are being oppressed.
The same Bible is saying that viongozi wanachaguliwa kutoka kwa Mungu. And the same Bible, I remember when the Israelites wanted their king, God told them, yes, I will give you people who will rule over you.
And they will oppress you.
But these are the things you should expect. And he listed them. But God, you are very funny. He listed some of the nasty things that the rulers will do.
They will oppress you.
They will oppress you.
The slaves.
Yeah. And you know, Saul was someone who was anointed and all that. And then look at what the things Saul did. He did a lot of nasty things. We had David.
I'm so happy that you're speaking the Bible.
Yeah, no, by the way, when it comes to historical books, I really loved reading them when I was very young. Yeah, I really loved historical books, you know, because I think, you know, even in high school, I loved history so much. So I loved historical books. Historical books in the Bible, no, not in the, you know, we had some prophetic books. We had, how did we call gospel books? We had
poetic books.
Did you really have that?
Yes, we have poetic books
in the Bible.
Yes, actually, the first 5 books are called law books.
Oh yes. Is it the Torah? The Torah books.
The Torah books.
Yes, yes. But at the same time, they were more like
Psalms and all that.
But they were more like the same with historical books. Yes, that is it.
Okay. Before we wind up, who will slay the other? The back of the book, the back of the newspaper. We see Saka there. And we also see there Real Madrid, Antonio Rudiger. The battle of the Titans. Arsenal will be taking on Real Madrid
this weekend. Or when?
Who will be slaying the other? Now you got to read the story. You've got to read the story.
Who will slay the other? We have Arsenal's and Fly Emirates.
Yes. And also we see Southampton relegated from English Premier League.
So bad.
So bad.
Bye-bye, so fight. We know you produced one of so many best players in the world. Victor Wanyama, Mugubi, Sadio Mane, the one that I love that player so much.
Jack
Grealish, Virgil van Dijk.
Yes.
Yes, so that's all. It happens that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, my viewers, for keeping tuned to BTV. Thank you so much for your time. We have to bring this to a close. And we say thank you so much for spending time with us. We are grateful that you were watching. We have to move with speed for the briefing that is going to take place in Migori Stadium. And we have to bring this to a close. Please keep tuned to BTV. We are always there to give you the best of news of what's happening in Migori County and across the counties and the entire of the Republic of Kenya. I'm your host, Gage Isaiah. See you tomorrow, the same place, the same time. Lennox.
Amodede, have a good day.
Thank you.